Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Trent. Trent, you grew up in Gainesville. You went to University of Florida. You're a graduate, right?
I am, yeah.
University of Florida. Now you've been at UCF for 2 years. What do you think it'll be like walking into that stadium on Saturday night?
Yeah, it'll feel a little weird for sure. After putting so much time in there at UF, I had a great 4 years there. So it'll be, some conflicting feelings, I'm sure, as I walk into the stadium. But I'm really excited to go play on Saturday.
Trent, what's it like in your family? I mean, your mom and your grandparents. Went to Florida. Your dad came here. I mean, what's that like this week? Do you expect there to be a little bit of, or is everyone on board UCF this week?
My family's pretty supportive. It's kind of wherever the kids are playing. So they're big UCF and Hale State people right now. So they're on board.
You guys had big plays last week, but also had 4 turnovers. How much has Coach emphasized keeping the ball in your guys' possession?
Yeah, he emphasized it a lot. Obviously, as he was up here saying earlier, you turn the ball over 4 times against a quality team, it's hard to win. So we got to eliminate that.
Describe the Swamp. At its loudest, it's
very loud. It's definitely one of the top atmospheres in the country. Super enjoyable place to play at. I mean, any atmosphere like that, you're going to get up and want to play well. So, yeah, I'm excited to go back.
So for the road team, you want to hear a quiet Swamp.
What's that?
You want to hear a quiet Swamp.
Eventually, yeah. It'll obviously be loud throughout the game, but yeah, you want to quiet it down.
Trent, obviously this matchup goes beyond your own personal history. You also have extensive family ties to both universities, as your mom, Missy, played volleyball at UF, and your dad, Mark, was a standout wide receiver here at UCF in the 90s. What does this matchup mean to you, and does this feel like a full circle moment?
Yeah, I guess it does feel a bit of a full circle moment going back. Try not to make it, too much about the matchup or like emotional ties. We just want to go out there and play, and there's a lot to be motivated for just from our team standpoint. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be extra motivation for a guy like myself, but like I said, we're just focused on the team and going in there and getting a big win.
Trent, you've got guys on your team that not only have not played at the Swamp, but have never even been there. You played there, and you've been going there since you were a kid. So what kind of institutional knowledge have you gained from being inside that stadium that you can pass on to your teammates?
Yeah, I think, trying to prepare them for the atmosphere. It's hard to simulate it for sure. There's other stadiums around the country that kind of have that similar effect. If you haven't been in it, you can't necessarily be prepared for it exactly, but just try to get them ready for that type of atmosphere, and then maybe pass along. Obviously, I still know a lot of the guys there at UF, so pass along what I feel like certain players do or whatever. I'm sure the guys on the UF defense, they'll recognize what I do as well, because we've had a lot of reps against each
Can I
other.
ask a follow-up? Just, you still know all these guys on the team, like you said. Do you still communicate with them, and kind of what's the vibe of that program right now from the guys that are still there? It's a weird place that they're in.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak on the vibe of it. Obviously, I'm not there. But yeah, I still do communicate with a lot of them. A lot of them were at my wedding in January. I still have super close relationships with a lot of them, and I'm looking forward to talking with them after the game.
So you had the 4 turnovers last game. How important is winning the turnover battle to ultimately winning the game?
Super important. I mean, the more possessions a team can have, the more chance they have to score. It's just mathematical. So when you give it away 4 times, you're just killing drives, and we can't afford to do that and put ourselves in a hole like we did on Saturday.
When you talk about the game against Colorado, you had obviously a big catch of 54 yards. Xavier caught a touchdown. How much does that kind of expand what you guys are able to do involving the 3 receivers in addition to what you guys have been able to do on the run for the most part of the year?
Yeah, I think it's a great way. Obviously, the more people get involved, the more the defense has to think about, and then it opens up the run game again, or the more success the run game has, the more it opens up us. So it always complements run and pass, especially when we get more people involved in the pass game.
Trent, as someone who played at Florida and is now at UCF, you kind of know how the pecking order has typically been in this state with the so-called Big Three. UCF kind of notch below, but now UCF's been Power 4, Power 5 member the last couple of years. They're in the Big 12 now. How do you think the Florida players kind of view UCF and view this game? Is this like a little brother type thing they're looking at, or how do you think they perceive UCF?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really speak on that. yeah, those things they'll take care of itself after the result of the game. So we're just focused on going in there and getting a win, and stuff like that is for y'all to decide. We're just trying to get a win.
Along those lines, Trent, I'm not trying to push it, is the idea of being part of the state and being part of these schools is how important would it be for UCF to maybe come away with a win, to change a little bit of that narrative, to say you deserve to be in the same kind of pecking order as that? How important would this game be for that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously winning the game would be important to a conversation like that. But again, I think that we just got to, go look at ourselves, go in with a great game plan, and you just got to be focused on the football aspect of it from a player standpoint. So that's how we're going to think this week.
It seems like majority of the game plan this season has been let the ground game dominate, open up the passing game. It seems that Colorado stopped that, and it kind of just messed up the game plan on offense. Is it more back to basics, trying to get back to that against Florida?
I don't know. We'll see. We have been really good on the ground, and give Colorado credit. They're able to disrupt some of the things we do, but that goes back on us. We just didn't execute. So that's football in general. If you're able to execute and dominate the people in front of you, it'll open up, and obviously we weren't able to do that on Saturday.
Following the Colorado loss, Coach Malzahn said it was a missed opportunity considering all the hype, all the build-up the whole day. Is there an opportunity now with redemption, getting that moment for opportunity in Gainesville?
There's great opportunity in that aspect. But like I said, from the player's standpoint, you got to kind of take all that out of it. I'm sure, we did miss opportunity on Saturday, but we play again the next week. We don't have another bye for a while, so it's like that for 6-7 weeks in a row. You just got to move on, whether win or loss. You got to eliminate that 24-hour rule and focus on the next game.
So you know yourself how loud the swamp can get. How does that affect the game plan with things like pre-snap communication?
It can be tough, but we've already been on the road. It'll be a louder atmosphere that we're going into, but you just use the same principles. You communicate through hand signal or whatever it is, and we'll practice that throughout the week. And we have a lot of veteran guys, so I'm sure we'll be good with that type of thing.
You started the Gasparilla Bowl on the other side 3 years ago. So how can you describe maybe the competition on the field between these teams? Being involved and being in it, and then also kind of the atmosphere you guys noticed from the stands and the back and forth between the two fan bases.
Yeah, I remember it was a really exciting atmosphere at the Gasparilla Bowl. Two teams that came out and played really hard. A lot of guys know each other. A lot of guys from the state of Florida either competed against each other in high school or now with the transfer portal. I feel like I know somebody at every school, but what was the end part of your question again?
Yeah, just the on-field competitiveness between the two teams. Was it ratcheted up any notches because?
Oh yeah. I think because the in-state matchup, like so many guys knowing each other, there is a little extra competition, but nothing beyond that.
Trent, we got to see a flash of your athleticism with your big reception on Saturday. Was it an instinctual reaction to keep that play alive, and how do you hope to contribute against the Gators on Saturday?
I just kind of realized that I hadn't gone down. I happened to bounce off the guy, which I don't know if that's ever happened to me in game, but it was a fun moment to pick up some extra yards. And then as far as Saturday goes, just whatever the game plan calls for, and making a play when my number's called.
How many family members and who are going to be at the game?
Myself providing tickets is just close family so far. I'm sure I'll get some more asks throughout the week. My wife's family some of them are gonna be in town as well, and I'll know quite a few people in the stands, just being from Gainesville. But I'm not sure on the official count yet. I'll have to get back to you later on that.
Who are some of the guys on that Gator team that you're still friendly with, still friends with? Do you communicate with some of those guys still?
Yeah, I do. Jeremy Crawshaw, the punter, we were roommates, great friends with him. Jake Slaughter, Austin Barber, Wingo at linebacker, I talked to him last week. So there's a ton of guys. I could name more and more and more. But I still have great relationships with a lot of those guys.
Are they keeping it friendly this week? Are there some trash talk on either side?
Or? Not so far. We've kept it pretty respectful. Like I said, we're good friends, and it'll be great competition on the field.
Trent, when you think about the kind of full circle moment you talked about with this starting out in Florida, and then you just mentioned you're married now, you've gotten older, obviously. I mean, what does this mean to you? Not specifically the two schools, but just the full circle moment of where you started at and growing up in Gainesville and to be married now and going to this game the way it is?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think God has a great plan for those who are serving Him, and seeing this moment come full circle, as several of y'all have mentioned, is really cool. Even taking out kind of like the emotional side and that aspect of it. So I'm really excited just to see how it all plays out, and just very thankful for my experience just throughout college as a whole.
Trent, I knew that loss to Colorado wasn't expected. You guys still got a long season in front of you. Got one more non-conference game than all Big 12. How would you characterize the rest of your teammates after a loss like that? I know it's still early in the week, but have they fleshed it and put it behind you? And how motivated is this team to turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a really tough loss. Everybody was frustrated when you come out and don't play well. But a huge opportunity this week, and then as you mentioned, after that is straight conference games, and we're in a conference that so far seems like it'll be a fist fight every week, and probably standings going up and down. So there's still all our goals are intact. Huge opportunity this week, as Coach Malzahn already mentioned, and then from there you just got to build on that, and that's football. I mean, most teams statistically don't go undefeated. We've fallen into that category as a team that's not undefeated. So you got to bounce back just like the whole rest of the country. And like I said, I mean, team seasons are built off response to adversity. So we'll see how we do.
Trent, you've been on that roster. You know those guys. Florida has struggled this year. Did they have talent? You would know.
Yeah, tons of talent. Played for an SEC championship there. They definitely have a lot of talented guys, and we're not going to underestimate that at all.
Speaking back on your big play, what was going through your mind? How bad did you want to score?
Yeah, I did want to score. I watched it back a couple times, and just looking if I could have jumped out of that last tackle as well. I don't know. Mine kind of goes blank when you're out there on the field. You just kind of instinctually do things. But yeah, I wish I could have finished it, but it was a good play.
Maybe one more. All right,
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank y'all.
Thanks so much.